6 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Hassan Gilani. First, the headlines. Prime Minister has instructed for a thorough joint investigation into terrorist attack on Chinese nationals, utilizing all available resources. Chief of Army Staff has reiterated resolve of armed forces to eliminate scourge of terrorism afflicting the country. Information Minister says federal government is closely engaged with provincial governments of Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa on security issue. Polling to elect 48 members of the Senate will be held on Tuesday. ABHC has paid glowing tribute to prominent rights defender Jalil Andarabi on his 28th martyrdom anniversary today. Israeli forces, despite Security Council resolution for immediate ceasefire, martyred 76 Palestinians in Gaza during the last 24 hours. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif has instructed for a thorough joint investigation into the terrorist attack on Chinese nationals, utilizing all resources of the state. He gave these instructions while chairing an emergency meeting in Islamabad today in the aftermath of Pesham terrorist attack on Chinese nationals working on Dasu Hydel power project. The meeting was attended by the federal ministers, Army Chief General Syed Asim Munir, Chief Ministers, Chief Secretaries, and Inspector Generals of Police of respective provinces. Participants of the meeting discussed the heinous attack on innocent civilians working on a development project meant to contribute to energy and water security of Pakistan. The Prime Minister offered deepest condolences to the families of the innocent victims of the attack and assured that the perpetrators of this barbaric act would be brought to justice swiftly. Shehbaz Sharif said that attacks targeting Pakistan-China friendship are particularly aimed at creating mistrust between the two brotherly countries. On the occasion, Chief of the Army Staff General Syed Asim Munir reiterated resolve of the armed forces to eliminate the scourge of terrorism afflicting the country. He said the nation has steadfastly fought the war on terrorism for the last 2 decades and defeated the nefarious designs of Pakistan's adversaries. Noting the recent surge in terrorist incidents, the Army Chief remarked that the enemies of Pakistan have once again underestimated the resilience and wit of the state and the people of Pakistan. He vowed to fight terrorism till every terrorist casting an evil eye on Pakistan, its people, its guests, is eliminated. He further said no stone shall be left unturned to ensure that every foreign citizen, especially the Chinese nationals contributing to the prosperity of Pakistan, is safe in Pakistan. He said we shall fight terrorism with all our might to the very end. The meeting concluded with the participants reiterating the resolve to comprehensively combat terrorism, employing all resources available to the state. The government has decided to constitute a joint investigation team for investigation into terrorist attack on Chinese engineers in Pesham. Sharing details of the meeting at a news conference in Islamabad, Minister for Information and Broadcasting Ataullah Tarar said the meeting recognized the importance of adopting a coordinated strategy to eliminate the menace of terrorism. He said a mechanism will be devised under this strategy to ensure greater coordination among the relevant stakeholders. The Information Minister said the meeting applauded the role of security forces in the war on terrorism. He said the whole nation is united in the war on terrorism, reaffirming that every possible step will be taken for the security of important installations, Chinese citizens, and the Pakistani people. He said the sea bag is our lifeline and guarantor of economic development. He said Pakistan shares the grief and sorrow of the Chinese people at this hour of grief. To a question, the minister said federal government is closely engaged with the provincial governments of Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa on security issue. He said counter-terrorism force will be established in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa at the patron of the state-of-the-art CTD force of Punjab. The United States has condemned the attack on convoy of Chinese engineers in Pakistan. At a regular press briefing in Washington, U.S. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller said the United States is deeply saddened by the loss of life and injuries sustained in the incident. He said, "We also share our heartfelt condolences with those affected by the attack." Polling on 48 vacant seats of Senate will be held on Tuesday. The polling process will continue till 4 p.m. In the federal capital, National Assembly members will elect senators for one general seat and one seat for technocrats, including ulema. The members of the 4 provincial assemblies will elect 7 for general seats, 2 for women's seats, and 2 for technocrats, including ulema, from their respective province. One senator for non-Muslims will be elected each from Punjab and Sindh provinces. This is Radio Pakistan. Minister for Planning and Development Ahsan Iqbal has emphasized the need for focusing on exports to increase foreign exchange reserves. Chairing a meeting of Steering Committee on 5 E's in Islamabad, he said we have to provide all resources to increase exports. He stressed increasing volume of exports from $30 billion to $100 billion in next 8 years. The Minister for Planning said the government has made digitalization one of its top priorities to improve governance and build the economy on modern lines. British Deputy High Commissioner Sara Mooney called on Sindh Chief Secretary Syed Asif Haider Shah in Karachi today. Chief Secretary informed that despite less contribution of 1% in greenhouse emissions, Pakistan is among the worst countries affected by climate change. Syed Asif Haider Shah sought the British government's technical assistance in tackling the climate change issue. He also invited British companies for investment in various sectors, particularly in energy and agriculture. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Hurriyat leaders and organizations have paid glowing tribute to prominent rights defender and noted lawyer Jalil Andarabi on his 28th martyrdom anniversary today. Andarabi was arrested by Indian Army's Major Avtar Singh on March 8, 1996, and 3 weeks later, on March 27, 1996, his body was found floating in Jhelum River near Badshahi Bagh in Srinagar. In separate statements in Srinagar, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference spokesman, Advocate Abdul Rashid Minhas, and the Kashmir Bar Association paid homage to Andarabi. Israeli forces, despite UN Security Council resolution, martyred 76 Palestinians and injured over 100 in unabated strikes across Gaza during the last 24 hours. According to Gaza Health Ministry, Israeli forces are continuing attacks on the situation on the ground remains dire. The martyrdom toll of Palestinians in Israeli aggression since October 7 last year in besieged enclave has risen to over 32,400. Over 74,800 Palestinians have been injured in Israeli attacks in Gaza. The United Nations Children's Fund says Israel has martyred more than 13,000 children in Gaza since October 7 last year. Talking to American news channel, UNICEF Executive Director Catherine Russell said a large number of children are suffering from severe malnutrition. Saudi Arabia has condemned the Israeli decision to confiscate 800 hectares of land in occupied West Bank. Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in a statement today, said such actions violate international laws and relevant resolutions. The statement said Israel's actions underestimate the chances of a just and sustainable peace based on the two-state solution. Saudi Arabia also called on the international community to halt the systematic violations by Israeli settlers and to ensure the return of confiscated Palestinian lands. And finally, the weather. Rain with thunderstorm is expected in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Upper Punjab, Islamabad, Kashmir, Gilgit-Baltistan, and northern Balochistan during the next 12 hours. However, dust-raising winds likely in the southern parts of the country. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.